Cobre Groundwork The Tarp and the Box Bluebonnet Equine Challenge Fall of 2022. So here I'm doing some groundwork exercises with Cobre, one of which is to get her to walk, trot, and canter over this tarp. As you can see, when she approaches it, she sniffs at it, kind of is curious about it, and then with a little bit of coaxing, I signal her and she walks over it just fine with not really any hesitation at all. So I'm sending her the other direction because whatever we do on one side of a horse, we have to do on the other. So getting her to walk over it both sides, both ways, getting her to be comfortable walking over it, and then we decide that that's too easy, that's not a big deal, so then we're going to try and trot over it. So as you can see here, she's kind of a little reluctant and kind of wants to avoid doing that, but then she does indeed pick up, trot up over the tarp, and did great. So then we worked on up to a canter. Here you can see she kind of sidestepped it as if to avoid it, so then I kind of did my best to position her a little better, and we missed it again. So went ahead and sent her over this time, and right there you can see she kind of looks down at it and kind of is a little startled, but then canters right over it, and the next time doesn't look at it at all, just canters over it, no big deal. I was pretty pleased with how she handled the tarp. It can definitely be pretty scary to some horses if they've never been exposed to it. So then I decided, let's get her to stop on the tarp. So I asked her to stop and change directions while standing on the tarp, and she also did that wonderfully. So all in all, handled the tarp pretty darn well, like a pro, and definitely pretty pleased with how she did that, overall with that tarp. Now this video is not the first time that Cobre has been asked to walk over the tarp or over ground poles, but I just kind of wanted to show you what we've been working on. It's probably only about the second or maybe the third time that she's been exposed to the tarp and the ground poles. So just wanted to give y'all an update, asking her to go over these poles in the box, trot over them. The first couple times she kind of hits her hoof on them as she's kind of trying to figure out what she needs to do with her feet so that she can avoid doing that. Then I ask her to go the other direction. See how that does for her, and as you can see right there, she kind of hit the pole with her foot. So ask her again, and then here she tries to stop and turn around, and I say, no ma'am, I didn't ask you to stop, and I definitely didn't ask you to turn around, keep going. And she listened. Just working with her on getting her comfortable trotting over those poles and knowing where she needs to put her feet so she can avoid hitting them. Making sure that she's comfortable and confident with those poles. Going back and forth, both directions. And then we kick it up to a canter. And here you can see she drops back down to a trot in the middle there. She's definitely not comfortable in what to do with her feet when cantering over those poles. And again there she dropped back down to a trot. They can take some coordination and figuring out, and right there she did keep in at the canter, except as she was coming out of the box she dropped back down. But she did better that last time. So one of the other things the box is really helpful for is yielding the hind end and yielding the forequarters. It is a really good frame of reference so that you can tell exactly if your horse is staying put, because if they obviously are coming out of the box, then they're not actually pivoting, they're moving around. As you can see here, she is definitely disengaging her hind end. She is moving her front end a lot more than I would like, though. So that's something we're going to continue to work on. And just like with any horse, and any human for that matter, you know, some days are better than others. So we're gonna keep working on it. Right there, that was a nice step. She kind of kept her front end a little more still there. So definitely yielding her hindquarters away from me, but we need to work a little bit more on keeping the front shoulders still while doing that. So now I'm about to switch and I'm about to start working with yielding her forequarters. Again, we want her hind end to stay put. We want her front legs to cross over. Ideally, we want that leg that's closest to me to go over in front of the other leg as we're pivoting. That just helps her maintain her balance so that she doesn't get off balance when she's doing that. She did that really, really well. The other direction, really kind of kept the hind legs really still. Here she kind of took one little step out of the box, so I backed her up again. Made her pivot a little more, asking her more, and she's doing a really, really good job here of keeping that back end still while pivoting the front end. Doing really good. So I gave her some pets, let her know that was really, really good, and I was very happy with her. And then after we've done this groundwork, the next step, which will be the next video, is briding.